Hey y'all, what's good, beautiful people? It's your girl Tay, and I'm here yet again with another update video. So definitely make sure you guys smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe, plus push a post notification bell button so that way anytime I upload a video, you will be notified. So jumping right into things, we have a couple of proposals. First proposal that I wanted to talk about is from Senator Joe Manchin, who proposed a dramatically scaled down version of the Build Back Better. This came out yesterday. It was reported by The Hill. I'm not exactly sure what the details of it is, so hopefully there's a little bit of information in this article to give us an idea on where they're going with this particular bill. It says Senator Joe Manchin, who's been a thorn in everybody's side, who torpedoed President Biden's Build Back Better agenda at the end of the last year, on Wednesday laid out a dramatically scaled down version that he says he could vote for under the special budget reconciliation process. Manchin said he could support a reconciliation package that reforms the tax code and lowers the cost of prescription drugs if the money raised is split between spending on new climate change proposals and deficit reduction and fighting inflation. The West Virginia senator clarified he hasn't made any formal counter proposal to the White House, but is sketching the outlines of a proposal that he could support along with the rest of the Senate Democratic caucus. Okay, whatever Manchin ultimately agrees to would have a different name than the Build Back Better Act, which he said in December he couldn't support. There's not a proposal, there's just a conversation, he said, of informal talks with White House officials. It just makes all the sense in the world that one thing that we as Democrats all agreed on was the 2017 tax cuts were weighted unfairly. So if you want to fix the tax cuts and make everybody pay their fair share, whether it's the very wealthiest of corporations that pay nothing, I think the president identified that last night, then you have to fix the tax code, he said. Then you find out what revenues you have from that if you fix it, he added. Manchin also said there is a broad agreement among Democrats on passing legislation to reduce the cost of prescription drugs, and suggested that modeling a program on what the Department of Veteran Affairs does to negotiate lower prices for military veterans would be a good idea. So there's not a whole lot, and there isn't anything in here to support the child tax credits or anything to suggest giving any money to the low-income people. There's none of that. Okay, this would definitely be a scaled-down version of the Build Back Better Act, and of course, it's not going to be called the Build Back Better Act. There's a lot of things that he doesn't want to see come to fruition with that particular package. I do believe some of the stuff that was going on, even though it's hearsay, she say, it's gossip about the White House, but I do believe that he may have taken some money in order to support his campaign and all of that, and that may have that it did drastically change his opinion on where he stands on a lot of the issues in the Build Back Better Act. That's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong, but that's just how I feel about that. Moving on from that, because I don't like him. There was another program that was actually introduced, I want to say 3 days ago, says this new program would give California families cash every month. Is this the one that I was talking about? This is for everybody. I don't know why they made it seem like it's specific to California, but as far as I'm not sure. Let me read into this before I, get ahead of myself. It says, in case you're not aware, there is a new bill on the table from Senator Mitt Romney of Utah, that is a potential game changer for millions of people. Romney recently released a plan called the Family Security Act, the FSA. This program would change the way the government fundamentally provides aid to families with children under the age of 19. Under the FSA, a monthly cash benefit to families with children worth up to $4,200 per year until age 5, and then $3,000 per year until age 17. The plan is projected to cost $66 billion more than the current tax credit for children, but is paid for by replacing other federal programs, such as the tax credit for daycare. Under this new framework, families receive a monthly cash benefit of up to $350 a month for each young child and $250 a month for each school-age child. Okay. The goal of this bill by Romney is to offer a Republican-friendly version of the enhanced child tax credit that could get support from both parties. While there are some similarities to the child tax credit, it's important to know that Romney's bill would not be an extension of the child tax credit program. This bill would provide a monthly child allowance for families who qualify instead. This new bill would simplify social assistance programs that are already in place so individuals can focus on building their future. The existing programs are complicated and frankly not working. This is what he says. It is very difficult for people to find work and become self-sufficient when navigating and enrolling in social assistance programs. Currently in California, there are many different programs in place, such as rent and utilities, healthcare, food, sick leave, and more available for those who need financial aid. Although, in my personal opinion, it's a really, really complicated process to get it. And it doesn't really, these programs, here's the thing, and this is from experience. This is how I feel about these programs, okay? My realistic attitude and perspective of these programs is that they don't help you at all to become self-sufficient. There are a lot of programs, and I used to talk about how good they are. You know, you get on a certain program and they'll help you with childcare, or they'll help you with getting into a place. Now, maybe you need help with the deposit. Sometimes you can get assistance with getting the first and I think first last month's to move into a new place. And then at the same time, you can also get help with buying certain appliances, like maybe you can get a refrigerator or a stove or something like that, but they will help you. It is a once in a lifetime program, that particular program, at least the last time I looked into it. So once they've given you that help that one time, then that is it. But the other thing that also really gets me, and this is just a breakdown. So let's just say that you have a family of 4. Okay, now these numbers may not be accurate. This is just an example. Let's just say that that family of 4 is receiving some type of assistance from a federal program like TANF, temporary assistance to needy families, or welfare, whatever you want to call it. And they get $1,000 in cash, and then they get maybe $800 to $900 in food stamps. Realistically, how is that going to help that person survive? Do you know anywhere that you can go and pay $1,000 a month for rent when you have a family of 5? Because it's you and 4 kids now. You and 4 kids. So you're getting $1,000 in cash. Now, let's say you go out and you get a job. Okay, now you have to take care of childcare for your children, right? Everybody knows that childcare is expensive. Childcare can be upwards to $150 a day. Okay, most times people are only going to be able to get entry-level positions in retail, working at McDonald's, Target, things of that nature. So they're only going to get minimum wage. Minimum wage pays you between $12 to $15 an hour, depending on where you are, depending on the type of business that it is. You're not going to make enough money to be able to take care of everything. And then let's not forget that once you start working and making money, then the money that you are getting from the welfare and the food stamps is going to go down. So they say, hey, you know what? You're bringing in an additional $1,500 a month from your job. They're going to take away from your cash aid that you're receiving from them. So now you're getting the $1,500 from your job, which is also eaten up by taxes. But then you're also getting now maybe $300 a month from the welfare, because they've taken away $700 of that because you have a job now. Let's go back to the food stamps. You were getting about $900. Now we're going to give you about $500. Okay, so realistically, by getting a job, what you've increased to maybe $2,000 a month. Again, you still have to be able to afford childcare. You still have to be able to take care of every single bill in the household, meaning you have to be able to take care of the rent. Where are you going to go? Unless you put all of your children in one room, which I've seen it happen. I've seen families go. I started off in a 2-bedroom. It was $1,200 when I moved in there, and then every year there was no rent control, so every year the rent went up. It finally got to $1,300, $1,400, and I'm like, this is too much for a 2-bedroom. My living room is small. We only have 1 bathroom. All of my children are literally in 1 room. It's too much. Those programs, to me, don't do a good job of helping people become self-sufficient. You know what I mean? And some people look at it as, well, just go and get a job and things will be easier. Even if you did go and get a job, still, depending on what background you have, what credentials you have or don't have, you're not going to be able to get a high paying job. That's the reality of the situation. I just feel like certain situations are geared towards keeping people in the situation that they're in. That's just to put it frank, okay? Because these programs, in my mind, no longer offer the assistance that they think it's offering to people, because they have to go back and forth and juggling you. They want you to give them every single aspect of your life at the same time. When you are receiving this, they want to know how many banks you got. If you got a bank account, how much money you got in the bank. They want to know every single thing that you do in order to keep receiving assistance from these programs. And they're very, very quick to cut you off of these programs if you make a mistake. But when they make a mistake, sometimes you still end up having to be responsible for a mistake that they may have made. These programs all need to be reformed. They need to take a look at them again. They need to increase it, because where can you go, especially in high cost living states like California? Where can you go for $1,000 a month? There's nowhere that you can go for $1,000 a month unless you have Section 8 or public housing. And we talked about that in another video. It is extremely difficult to be, I've been on a Section 8 waiting list since 2000 and I want to say 13. We're in 2022. I haven't got a phone call. I haven't got a letter. I haven't got anything. I'm still on the Section 8 waiting list. So if I had sat and actually waited on Section 8 to provide housing for me at a more affordable cost, I would probably be homeless, probably be like a lot of people who end up moving back in with family members and just really don't know what to do with themselves. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot more work that needs to be done. Governor, okay, president. There's a lot more that needs to be done. But moving on, going back to what this article is saying, this is currently in California. There are many different programs in place, such as rent, utilities, healthcare, food, sick leave, and more available for those who need financial aid. The Family Security Act would empower California residents to both handle their finances better and to also make their best decisions for their family. Okay. The rest of that was just nonsense. Okay. Hold on here. So that is all when it comes to the news for today. Let me check and see. I think that was all that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. The main thing was this new program that's supposed to be, it's not a replacement of the child tax credit at all. Okay. And it doesn't give much details as to how is that going to work. Obviously it says that you have to qualify for it, but it doesn't tell you what the qualifications are. What does that mean, qualify? How do you qualify for it? There's just a lot of details that they left out in regards to that program. I'm glad to see that something is on the table, but I don't know if I particularly agree with this particular proposal. Okay. Moving on to emergency SNAP maximum benefits. We're going to keep this video short and sweet for you guys today. There were no additional states that have been approved as of today for March, and there is no states that have been approved for April. Okay, you guys know that towards the beginning of the month we get quite a few states that kind of get approved all around the same time, and then it kinds to dwindle out. We'll get some more states that kind of pop in here and there throughout the rest of the month. So I am going to put a picture on the screen and just run down. But as of right now, the current states that have been approved, which I think would be better to do from my phone than looking over here. But the current states that have been approved for emergency SNAP maximum benefits for the month of March, we have Alabama, Arizona, Colorado, Delaware, DC, Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. Okay, and that is completely all. I love actually giving you guys these more shorter videos. It's a lot easier for me to actually go in and edit, and yeah, it's just a little bit easier. I can't guarantee all of them are going to be this short though, so I can tell you that right now. But these were the two important things that I wanted to kind of discuss with you guys. Give me your opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below. How do you guys feel about this new proposal? Like I said, there wasn't pretty much any details. We just know that there's something on the table, and it doesn't replace the child tax credit advance. Do you want this one, or would you prefer for them to just I honestly would prefer for them to just put the child tax credit advance payments back in place, because I feel like that was obviously more helpful. A lot more people qualified for it because it was based off of their income and things of that nature. I just think that that's better. I kind of feel like with this one, there are definitely going to be a lot more restrictions in place for this particular program. So a lot less people are going to actually qualify for it, and that's a problem. They're creating all of these all of these programs, but they only these programs only cater to such a small group of people. For example, the program that I talked about just the other day for West Hollywood, that was for 25 people. And then I think there was a program that I talked about yesterday that was for 2,400. Now, forgive me, 25 to 2,400, complete large jump, but still, the child tax credit helped many thousands of people. You know what I mean? It helped a lot of people in all states, not just one state. So on that note, you guys, I'm going to say I hope this information was in some way helpful or useful to you guys in the least little bit. Don't forget to smash that like button, because it really does help to let YouTube know that you like what I'm doing and you want me to stick around. Also, if you guys have not got a chance to check out my new merch, I have a merch shop. It should be linked below. It should be like a little shelf underneath the video, so that way if you click on that, it'll take you directly to the website. But just in case you didn't know, I do have a merch shop. shop. It is www.shebuildshealthywealth.com. And I'm basically just sharing some, selling some of my t-shirts with my favorite sayings on there. I did create 2 additional products on there, so go and check it out. As always, I'm going to say, remember to live, love, and elevate, and I will definitely see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.